Yo, what's good? It's your boy Big Steve, and welcome to the Haze and Blue, where we smoke and talk Michigan football. So let's get into it. So tonight we gonna be doing another episode of End of an Era. It's just giving our roses to some of these players that for the last 3 to 4 years have really changed the look and how the world look at Michigan as a football team in general. And when you talk about one dude, you can't leave out the other. So we're doing two players tonight, Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, two Michigan legends, and two players, as Jim Harbaugh would describe them, was a gift from the football gods. Ever since these dudes got on campus, they've been absolute monsters. I still remember my first memory of Mason Graham was going into the 2021 season, I believe, or 22 season. And they was talking to one of the captains, and they asked the captain, who is a player we need to be looking out for that we really don't know about? And the first person he said was Mason Graham, a true freshman. And, I'm not too big on recruiting, so I didn't know who he was. And this is the year where Oluwatini was coming over, the All-American from Virginia, who ended up going to Seattle. And he said, man, when Mason Graham and Oluwatini go at it, it's two clash of titans. And so to hear that from a senior captain being spoke about, a true freshman D tackle, I couldn't wait to see this dude play, and he did not disappoint at all. From the first moment he stepped on the Michigan, the dude was a bona fide baller, man. Got into the rotation early on as a true freshman. Then basically missed a couple games his sophomore year. I believe he missed like one or two games, I believe. And one of my most memorable moments, my best moment, was against the Minnesota Gophers. I believe was his first game back his sophomore year. He had the cast on his hand, and he was just dominant. The dude just dominated. And, 108 tackles for an interior D lineman is crazy. 61 solo tackles, 3 pass deflection, 9 sacks. And those 9 sacks really came within a short frame. Because like I say, he was a rotation player his freshman year, missed a couple games his sophomore year, and this year was, this year. But 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble, was a 2-time All-American. He went 3-0 versus Ohio Soft and was a national champion. So salute Mason Graham, man. Dude really was a motherfucking beast. That tackle against Bama, I believe was second or third down, man. And to see him make a play like that, it was unreal because for the longest, one of the biggest problems we always had was we never had nobody good enough. We had players big, we had players strong, but we never had nobody capable of wrecking shop as an interior lineman against the SEC. And he changed that, man. And dude, he's been a certified baller ever since he got on campus. So salute Mason Graham. It's gonna be cool to see. He's projected to be a top 5, top 10 pick. It's cool to see where he end up at. Especially after the Ohio game, he probably don't got to do no combine or nothing because that performance against Ohio, just as a run stopper, you see what he can do as a pass rusher. He can line up on the edge. He's a monster, and it was an honor watching this dude these last 3 years. Man, if we find another Mason Graham, I'd be a happy ass fan. But Mason Graham, man, truly gonna be missed. Definitely an end of an era. And then on the other side, you have he was even more unknown than Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, the 6'7", 330-pound athletic freak. Everybody remember the chase down tackle against Penn State his sophomore year. And he really just came out of nowhere. Indiana kid. So it was a steal for Jim Harbaugh to get him to Michigan. Really was just a 3-star recruit. So like I say, I really didn't hear too much about him. I wasn't expecting too much from him coming into that 2022 class. And to be honest, that class is really slept on. It was a lot of hype about the J.J. McCarty class with Donovan Edwards and those players and Junior Colston, but that 2022 class, legendary. But Kenneth Grant, man, 69 total tackles, 36 solos, 9 pass deflections. He definitely came up big. A lot of second and third down pass deflections, 6.5 sacks, 1 interception. Could have had 2, but he fumbled it. Or was that a fumble recovery? I don't know. But did make third team All-American, second or third team All-American this year. Went 3-0 against Ohio Soft as well and is a national champion. So Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, these two dudes, in my opinion, they probably go down as the best D lineman in Michigan's history that I can remember. I know somebody's going to remember some players from the 70s and 80s and shit. Salute to those dudes. But in the last 25 years, you cannot think of a D tackle duo better or even close. Shout out to Chris Jenkins. He's definitely balling out for the Bengals as well as a rookie. So these last 2 to 3 to 4 years has been awesome. These two dudes is going to be missed, man. It's going to be cool to see how that play out in the league. Kenneth Grant is also projected to be a first-round pick. He's going to be playing in the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl, whatever it's called, January 30th. So it's going to be pretty cool, man. It's bittersweet to see these dudes, man, come on as true freshmen. You hear Jim Harbaugh make the famous, they was gift from the football gods. We haven't seen what they can do yet, but once we saw it, the rest is history. The rest is history. So shout out Mason Graham, shout out Kenneth Grant. We have got some players in the transfer portal. That's for another story, another time. Maybe we can repeat and see some dominant performers again. But before these two dudes, I can't think back. Maybe the Allen Branch days. But these two dudes were definitely a gift from God. So salute them boys and go motherfucking blue.